Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VII. In the last part, we went through the entirety of the Great Glacier area, and now we need to find ourselves going towards the cliffs of Gaia. However, even though we have this little cutscene here, we're going to be heading back into the Great Glacier really quick to grab the last couple of items over there. What is it? This is a scene I really like, even though I don't think enough people talk. I also like how everyone's absolutely freezing except for Vincent, Ketchi, and Red, just because one's got fur, one's a robot, and one's basically a zombie.
Huh. I love that Yuffie's just kind of hopping a little bit, I guess.
I just imagine Vincent saying, I could just hear Vincent saying, "This cold is nothing compared to the coldness of my soul. Buy my merchandise at Hot Topic."
That sounds about as edgy as you can get.
My goal now is to head towards the southwest of this little area, just because the last items I want to grab are towards where Icicle Inn is. Not quite at Icicle Inn, but in the areas near it. I do wish there was a way for you to grab every item here your first try, but I just don't think there is, unfortunately.
I've only ever gone through it once, so I guess that means I haven't grabbed everything.
And awaiting us is a few new enemy types as well. I'm not sure if these can only show up on these certain screens or if I just got unlucky earlier. First off, we got Lesopoloth. 2,000 HP, 920 experience points, 65 AP, 1,000 gil. Immune to ice, gravity, earth, and water, and weak to wind. They can both have Phoenix Down stolen, and they can drop them. I believe they can inflict poison with a Scorpion Tail ability. I think they have... no, they're snow. They're often found with snow enemies that can confuse you.
Be careful with that confusion. Big yikes.
Yep. I think it has an attack. It also just can never outright use due to some sort of bug, but I'm not entirely certain about that. I believe there's another screen that has two different exits, one down here to the bottom left and one to the bottom right. That's one you can easily miss.
Huh. The screen transitions in this area confused me a little bit. Because they seem to be kind of unique to this area for some reason.
Screen transitions in this game are kind of weird as well, where if you go through another screen transition while another one is happening, they just cuts.
Or like in that, with that darkened effect in the ancient city.
In the city of the ancient, yeah.
This is a Magnade. Looks like a bull. Yikes. 1,000 HP, 980 XP, 500 AP, 1,200 gil. Weak to fire. It drops an X potion, so if you want those, then this is a good place to get them.
Wait, did you say 500 AP?
50.
Yeah, I was about to say like that. For this point in the game, that doesn't sound right.
I might have said 500. I don't know. It's been a long day.
They're very general enemies. They shouldn't stand much of a chance. I think they're weak to gravity, so Demi 2 and Laser should kill them one shot. And this cave right here is not the one I'm thinking it is. This one just has... Oh, wait, no, yes it is. This elixir is interesting. You can grab it and leave without pressing the confirm button to make the window disappear. And if you come back in, it's still there. You can grind for infinite elixirs like this. However, the problem is I think the step count still goes on in there. So I got a couple and then I just left. And this is the party I'm bringing into the next area. It's more or less the same, I believe. Yes, the exact same party setup, but the materia changed a little bit with summons and such. I also managed to get Sid's first level 2 limit break hyper jump while I was away. So now let's head up towards the cliffs of Gaia. Or is it just the Gaia cliffs? I forget. And starting off, we immediately have that temperature gimmick that Holzoff talked about. I believe you get down below 20-something degrees, you pass on and are sent back there. However, you can mash the button to get upwards to 38, I believe, and then you can just continue climbing. Wherever there's a flag is a ledge you can stand on to mash the square button. Sometimes there's going to be choices in the paths you can take, but overall, there's not much to worry about with this gimmick. Because most of this area is spent inside where you don't have to worry about it. So, Kenny, what did you find annoying about this?
Okay.
Hello?
We're good. I don't know what that cutout was, but as soon as I heard you say, I go in there and get infinite, and then I just leave, and then all of a sudden I hear a cutout, and I'm like, oh no.
Well, your audio will probably still be there, so that should lead to some laughs. Welcome to the inside of the Gaia Caves. And this area is a bit visually confusing, but there's one thing you want to keep in mind. There's a secret pathway over here leading to another ribbon.
Who needs ribbons? Alright. I might be a little behind on parts, because I think...
6, 19, 20, 21.
I don't have these guys on here.
Oh, I guess I'll get them. This is... Oh, wait, no, this is my enemy anyway. Whoops. Zolo Culters have 958 HP, 700 experience points, 60 AP, 700 gil. No elemental weaknesses, but they also don't have anything to steal, but they can drop X potions and be morphed into antidotes. And that's useful because they can very easily poison you through their toxic barf ability.
Well, I mean, poison doesn't last very long, so maybe it isn't really worth it. And besides, poison actually isn't that effective in this game, I've noticed. It matters not a lot in this game, whereas in 6 it actually can be a little bad, because poison lasts outside of battle.
Yeah, any game, any RPG rather, where poison lasts outside of battle can be annoying. I guess the best use for antidotes would probably be selling them, but even then, if you can get them to drop the X potions, that'll be worth more.
Now, this is my enemy, and I love this enemy because it's a souped up version of the, I want to say it's called a Hell Bomber or whatever. 1600 HP, 640 experience, 64 AP, 460 gil. I'm noticing a bunch of 6-4, 6-4, 4-6s here. You can steal tranquilizers, and they can drop hypers. They don't have any elemental weaknesses. They can do their bomber attack, which does a lot of damage. So if you want to get your limit gauges built up, this is the best way to do it.
Similarly, they can inflict fury on you, which can also be very useful for that. And over here is a Javelin, another weapon for Sid. At this point, though, I run back and forth in this area, because usually I've run into a certain enemy by this point, and I kind of want to run into it. This is Stilva, a recolor of the Materia Keeper. 2,000 HP, 1,000 experience points, 110 AP, 1,100 gil. No elemental weaknesses. It can drop tents and be morphed into holy torches. But the big thing is we want to manipulate it for 2 reasons. This thing has some enemy skills for us. First off, this is the last enemy in the game chronologically, barring depending on when you do the Wutai quest, that can give you Trine. So, this is where I decided to get it now. However, again, if you are going for 100% with getting every, all 4 of the enemy skill materia maxed out, you want to save the Wutai quest for later. But it can also teach us Magic Breath, which is essentially a combination of Trine, Aqualung, and Beta.
Something people should note about that skill is that if an enemy absorbs one of those elements, it absorbs the attack, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
but
as you even saw with us, because I absorbed all the ice damage. It's going to be very useful for bosses, but it can backfire. And the Holy Torch item that Stilva can be morphed into, I believe, is just the Dispel spell?
Yeah, I think it's a debuffer.
That enemy can be annoying if you run into a lot of them in a row, but overall, our goal here is just to knock down this rock to break these crystal formations, and move on.
This segment was always interesting.
I love the way this place looks. I love the ice pathways, but for newcomers, this can be a bit of a confusing area to navigate just because of the way all the things connect.
Yeah, I know for a fact I got lost here at least once.
It doesn't help that one of the most dangerous enemies in the entire game is located in this area.
Alright. Bats! This
bats!
is an evil head. 740 HP, 650, 740 HP, 650 XP, 50 AP, 400 gil. Because it is a flyer, I believe it is weak to wind. No, it actually takes full damage from earth. Now that's interesting.
Odd.
It has an ultrasound ability, which I believe silences someone.
Yes.
But that's the worst of your worries.
I do believe, even though it's not weak to gravity, laser and Demi 2 on them can instant kill them. Just because they're flying. Alright. Screens like this where you're outside are where you want to be careful because you can run into a very dangerous enemy out here that I'm going to want to run into in the next outside screen.
I didn't even know you could run into encounters out here.
At least I think you can. If it is, it's rare. I might be thinking of another room later on, honestly. I'm not sure if you can get stuck on a pathway by going the wrong direction. I've always just gone this set of directions, up, then right, then I think up again. I, again, wish they continued the music out here, because even though I like the atmospheric wind sound, you could use a bit more. One thing I kind of hope they do with this place in the remake, just because you're climbing, is the farther the higher you get, they add more instruments to the song.
That would be a really cool effect.
I love it when games do that in areas. Like, I don't think you've ever played the game, but have you ever heard of Brave Fencer Musashi?
I have heard of it, but I have not played it.
It's a really nice kind of Zelda clone. But the main town in the game, all-you-can-eat village, in the castle itself, the farther in the game you get, you can rescue some musicians that add more instruments to the castle's theme.
Ooh.
And by the end game, it's really nice sounding. All right, now this next screen is where you can run into those very dangerous enemies, and you're gonna want some ribbons on for these enemies, because, oh boy.
I'm interested. I'm wondering if I've ever actually run into this enemy before.
Oh, you definitely have in the other games. Whether or not you have here is another thing.
Oh, this area!
You can run into it on either side, but the enemy in question is our good old friend, the Marlboro.
Yikers.
4,400 HP, 1,000 experience points, 100 AP, 100 gil. Weak to water, immune to gravity in this game, which is kind of odd. They have 2 steals, which is kind of rare. You can steal M tentacles, which is, I believe, Bio 2, or Echo Screens. They can also drop M tentacles. The big thing is, they can use Frozen Beam, which is what they like to use the most. They can use Bio 2, but the thing we want them to use is the next enemy skill, Bad Breath. However, you cannot manipulate Marlboros, so I had to wait here for about, I want to say, 5 minutes for them to use it.
Whew, and that is not good.
Bad Breath is still a pretty nasty status ailment. I think it's Poison, Confusion, Sleep, Silence, Small, and Frog in this game in particular. However, notable, I believe because they are a multiple level of 4, yeah, they're level 44. I get it, because 4 is death. You can use level 4 suicide on them to at least reduce them down to critical HP and then finish them off pretty quickly. And this is the next major gimmick of this area. By the way, really oddly hard to see chests there.
What rendition of the Marlboro is the worst, in your opinion?
Marlboro Menace from 10. The one that gets a consistent sneak attack on you.
Oh yeah,
if you're not prepared, that can be bad.
Yep. Alright. So, we have a new enemy here, the Icicle. Weirdly, you're fighting an inanimate object. I don't know why this is a thing. 3,000 HP, 500 XP, no AP, no gil, no drops. Weak to fire, absorbs ice, weak to earth. weak to gravity, because obviously it falls. But they're always fought with 3 evil heads.
Yes. Laser and Demi 2 are instant kill to it. Beta can be if your HP is high enough. Also effective, if you have it by this point, is Cloud's, I think it's second level 3 limit break, finishing touch, because that can instant kill them.
Finishing touch, Smash Brothers. Yikes.
Oh, I love you. I love surprising people with that. I don't play Cloud often in Smash, but when I do, I have some real fun. After you knock down each icicle, you have the option of jumping back down, but there's a chest on the far left, so of course I'm going to be grabbing that. Also, I took some real damage there. And hey, look, I got his level 3 limit break, Meteor Rain. I love Meteor Rain. I also got Dolphin Blow for Tifa.
Meteor Rain is a good limit break.
Meteor Rain is probably my... If I can get it early in the game, like the earliest I've gotten it, is Midgar. It's a lot of stupid fun.
You got it in Midgar? What?
I have done some extreme grinding. And there we get a last elixir. That's just a mega elixir mistranslated.
A last elixir? Huh.
But yeah, if you do extreme farming in the areas like outside Sector 5, you can get... wow, that's immediate battle in that screen. That's never happened before. You can get Meteor Rain early on, and it just destroys the challenge, whatever challenge the game has. But let me tell you, there's a certain sort of catharsis to that.
I can imagine.
We'll talk more about Meteor Rain and Dolphin Blow when we see them. I think we might also see Hyper Jump fairly soon, too.
I actually didn't use Sid's limit breaks very much, unfortunately.
There we get an Enhanced Sword, which is another decent weapon for Cloud. I forget if it's double material growth or not, but I think it has a good amount of slots, too.
Usually the Enhancer increases magic. I don't know if it does for him. Actually, I don't... Are there weapons in this game that increase, like, your strength, spirit, dexterity, something like that?
Strength, yes. I forget if there are for the other ones.
This... Yikes.
Admittedly, it is annoying to have to mash, but you don't have to mash, like, to death. It's not like certain Mario Party minigames where mashing is the line between life and death. Even just, like, pressing the button once or twice can usually get you up a couple degree or so. However, I should note, when you press the square button, your freezing isn't halted. You can immediately go up and then immediately down a degree, depending on where you are on the cold meter.
I think the coldest it can get to is, I want to say, 33?
I was thinking high 20s, but honestly, I forget. I never let it get that low. And here we have the next enemy, Koals, which are clearly just the Ketchia's enemies from 4, but, yeah, it's just the Koals again. 1300 HP, 720 experience points, 70 AP, 800 gil. No elemental weaknesses. You can steal tranquilizers. They can also be morphed into them. They can also drop high potions. The main thing to, I guess, fear is their physical, is their blaster attack, which I might be thinking of the Final Fantasy VI one being more annoying than that.
Final Fantasy VI blaster is really scary, unless you have a ribbon, of course.
Oh no, actually no, blaster's not to be feared at all. It's just non-elemental damage.
Isn't that nice? I wish it was like that in other ones.
Yeah, especially 6. Oh god, 6. The only saving grace in the 1 and 6 is that it can be runicked.
Hmm.
Oh, I know that song. Alright, boss, what you got for us?
We have a dragon! A two-headed dragon. Kind of. I think this is a dragon. This is Schizo. 18,000 HP, 2,200 experience points, 1,500 gil. Interestingly enough, it has two sides to it. It has a right head and a left head. The HP is the same on the same on both. One side is weak to ice. One side absorbs fire. The other absorbs ice. None of whom have actual elemental weaknesses, though. You can steal a Protect Ring from it, which is a good idea, I think.
I believe even though they have 18,000 HP, that's a shared pool. I think the goal is to kill both heads, and I think each one has 9,000 HP to itself.
Yes.
You want to focus on one head as much as you can, because when both heads are alive, they can use a very strong double breath attack. And, well, that's just bad. I believe each has specific counterattacks as well. Like, I think the right head counterattacks with a tremor every 5th hit. I think left head uses Quake every couple of hits.
Yeah.
When a head dies, it does a final attack, which will do, I believe, 1,500 lightning damage. So you need to be careful with that. The best strategy is to use Magic Hammer on the heads until their MP is reduced, because they only have, I think, 350 MP.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of MP.
So Magic Hammer can take that down within like a full round. This boss used to give me a lot of trouble when I was younger, because I wasn't used to having to focus on more than one target at a time.
Yeah.
Especially with the extreme damage they can do if you're not in the right circumstances. So if you're not careful, this can be hard, but with the way I am, this isn't too bad. And here is Hyper Jump for Sid, which I believe is just a more powerful jump limit break. Oh no, I didn't know this. It does 3.5 times normal damage to all enemies.
Ooh.
And apparently it has a 20% chance of inflicting instant death.
What?
I did not know that.
That's a new one.
Yeah. I did not know that. Speaking of dragoons, here's a dragon. On another dragon.
Dragons. Oh my goodness. There are some strong winds outside. I need to close my window. Excuse me. I think we're gonna get a storm today.
Well, if I recall correctly, and this is more talking about our time than when this is getting uploaded. Didn't Milwaukee get like 6 inches yesterday?
Yeah, there was a lot of snow in the Midwest this weekend.
We got the most we've gotten in the past like week is some pretty serious rain. Rough strategy though for this boss is the same way we've seen for a bit. Big guard, magic hammer, summons, whatever you got. Try not to use the fire and ice spells. Trine's gonna be your best bet just because there's no chance of them resisting it or anything.
Yeah.
That's the final attack, by the way. Yeah, that can hurt.
Is Magic Breath something good that you could use? Oh wait, no, you can't because they absorb one of either ice or fire, right? Oops.
Yeah. Magic Breath will get its time.
Magic Breath was one of my favorite skills to use when I was playing this game.
Oh, and Sid's face in the ice. How's that taste, buddy? Sucks he misses out on that experience points, but oh well. And you get a Dragon Fang, which I think uses some spells.
Bolt 3, I think?
I'll probably find it out for us. Is it just because the background here look a little bit grainier? Anyway, as we slowly climb, we find ourselves in an area that's been hinted at through most of the journey. They've talked about how Genova caused a great wound. Well,
here we are.
It's much greater than you think.
Northern Crater.
Yikes. That is one hell of a crater. And I'm assuming this is also what Shinra refers to as the Promised Land, because that's a lot of Mako.
Oh.
Yowza. Some dinosaurs were killed. Get used to hearing this song, by the way.
Ugh. I don't like this theme.
But yeah, the reason that there's so much, the reason this is the Promised Land is that the planet rather, has gathered so much spirit energy to try and correct this wound that Genoa gave them, and it's been several thousand years since then, and it's still looking like shit. Back to Sephiroth. Before we continue on, I want to actually farm around here for a little bit. Because this next enemy has something I like to grab. This is the Gigas, and oh wow, that's a big boy. 3,500 HP, 840 experience points, 84 AP, 560 gil. Immune to gravity, but no other elemental weaknesses otherwise. However, it is susceptible to level 4 suicide. And it can drop Earth Mouse, but I want to steal Gigas armlets from it. Gigas armlets are very high defense equipment pieces. I'm talking strength plus 30 and like 59 defense. Which for this point in the game, that's pretty good. That strength plus 30 is the main reason I'm getting them, because if I want someone that can deal some extra damage physically, that's going to be useful. The big drawback is that I think it's a no materia growth weapon.
Yeah, does it have any materia slots?
It does. I think it has 5 materia slots. I think 4 of those are linked, but it doesn't have any growth. I grind for 7 of those, however many party members I have, just to have them in the case I need them. Oh no, that's worse defense that I have.
I don't know how much they sell for.
Neither do I off the top of my head. But still, I recommend grabbing those. That strength boost can be useful. Their Moon Wars ability can, I think, damage you pretty well if you're not careful, too.
Oh, that's right. Moon Wars is pretty dangerous.
I think it's a party targeting? I forget, is it party targeting or is it single target?
I want to say it's single target, but it's really hefty damage.
Yeah, you want to avoid that at all costs. And hey! For the first time in the series, we have an upgraded Bahamut. Neo Bahamut is Bahamut, but better. And I'll just save off screen like that. And I've also repurposed my party's toolkit around a little bit. Got some fire absorbing equipment or draining around or resisting equipment on. And if I don't have equipment for that, I have the usual materia set up to help with that as well.
This little segment, the Promised Land here, annoyed the crap out of me a lot for a couple of reasons.
There's one section in it that gave me a lot of trouble when I was younger because I kept wondering why I kept getting into encounters.
Yep, yeah, me too.
Oh, hi guys. Looks like Shinra's arrived. You know, realistically, because if I'm recalling correctly, this is supposed to be that ship that we saw back at the Junin base, the giant one with all the propellers. Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
What stopped them from flying this north to begin with? Did they just not know this is where the Promised Land is? I mean, there's only 3 continents. There's not many places it could be.
I don't know. Plot convenience, man.
That's always one thing I found a bit odd about this game's plot. The world is relatively small in this game compared to some other Final Fantasies, especially 6. So being unable to find the Promised Land I find a bit odd, unless it's a thing of traveling this far north takes longer than it seems in game because gameplay, story integration.
Alright, this segment here was really annoying to me. I don't understand the queue to this very day.
You need to wait until the wind fades, and you can see right above where Cloud's head is, there's a little portion where the background starts being obscured by it. If you cross that while the wind's going on, I think not only do you take some damage, I think you're thrown into an encounter.
Yeah, you're just thrown into an encounter.
Speaking of which, we got new enemies. I think this one has 2 for us. No, it's just these
one.
guys.
So these are gremlins. 1500 HP, 750 XP, 60 AP, 750 gil, no elemental weaknesses. You can steal a tent from them. They drop shrivels. I don't know what those are. They have they have Badmouth, which does a little bit of damage, and they have Fury and Fury 2. I actually don't know what those moves are.
I think they're just like Fury swipes where it's just more attacks. I think Badmouth can cause sadness. By the way, every single black coat you see dead, you can investigate and they will be an item. Shrivels cause mini to a target.
Nice.
And here we have the last new enemy for the part, a Sculpture. 1700 HP, 860 experience points, 60 AP, 640 gil. They get instant killed by holy attacks. and they can drop tranquilizers.
That's a new one. Insta-killed by Holy.
Yeah. And that, I believe, was the next limit break for Tifa, Meteor Drive. As usual, that goes in a chain, and it does 1 5/8 times normal damage. Oh, no, I think we've seen Meteor Drive before. I think Dolphin Blow is one we haven't seen yet for her.
Dolphin Blow is the one we haven't seen.
And we'll get to that. And then we get the Kaiser Knuckle, which I think that's a Tifa weapon. Or is that a Barret weapon? Some of those get a bit confusing.
Yes, that's a Tifa weapon.
Yeah, it is. Either way, I believe with that, we're about to end this off at this next screen transition. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 23, we'll be further investigating the Promised Land to see exactly what awaits us at its core. See you guys then.
See you guys then.